Okay, everybody, I'm going to go over exercise 3.5. I hope you're having a good time today, tonight, or whenever it is. This is the bias collar, and this actually starts on page 79. I'm going to skip through some of these things here, and I'm looking at different circles here and so on and so forth. And now I'm actually now skipped all the way down to page 82 and figure 3.58 is from the start. So again, I think they want you to start this thing on the horizontal plane, so I'm going to grab that as my sketch plane. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to put two circles in. First off, I'm going to put a circle right here. And then I'm going to put another circle right also at the origin right in here. Now, let's take a look at these circles. If I try to grab the circle, notice it gets bigger and smaller, but it does not move off the origin, so it is constrained to the origin by default. Okay, by that. So then the values of this circle, again, let's see here. They give you some ways to offset the circle off of the origin, but I'm not too concerned with that at this point in time. So then I'm going to give the outside circle a diameter 5. I'm going to change it to a construction line. And I'm going to make the inside diameter a diameter 4. And the third one out there that has a diameter 3.5 I'm not using. So first off, I'm going to grab this outside circle and I'm going to make it a construction circle. What that's going to turn into is going to be a bolt circle. And let's go ahead and put some constraints on here and then on here, and then again this one is, the bolt circle is 5, and the small one here is a diameter 4. Okay, so that's pretty close to figure 3.60. Okay, then you go down through here, and now what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to exit out of this thing here. And notice only the one circle appears, and I'm going to make a pad out of it. And let's give that value 0.125, okay? And there is that circle here, okay? So now let's go back into that sketch. And what I want to do is I'm going to show you several different ways to actually create what I term this, this lug feature here. And it's got, starting it on, you're looking at 3.68 and then 3.71, and then it shows you three of them with 3.75. Okay, there's about 3 different ways you can approach this thing. So starting off, I'm going to come out here and I am going to then put this in isometric view because I want to make sure that my lug, if you look at figure 3.75 on page 87, is sticking right up front of the object. So I'm generally going to just place a circle out in here. And I've changed that to a regular standard element circle. Now if I go back into my view here, now I know where that circle is. Now I want it to be sitting on this quadrant. So I'm going to move it down into here. And then again, I'm going to open up my sketch, my absolute axis. And now I'm going to do some things with this circle. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to size it. Then I'm going to say I want this value here to go back to the origin in a vertical measure direction. And I want that value to be 0. So now that's holding it up and down. Now what's going to hold it here is going to be this bolt circle. Okay, because if you look on figure 3.74, it'll show you that. So I'm going to go from the point here to that center line here, and I want to make it coincidental. So now it's being held into place here. And actually, let's see here. This should be a radius of 3.75. So let me change this here to a radius of 0.375. Okay, that looks a little better. So now we have that here. Notice they're both green. So now what I'm doing here is I'm going to put on a couple lines here. So standard geometry lines, I'm going to put one over here, out here, keeping it horizontal so it constrains it in horizontal orientation. extension. And that back to here. And then I want to place these lines. So I'm going to say, okay, now I want that and that line there to be tangent. And that one to be tangent to right here. So now you have this geometry. So then again, I'm going to zoom up a little bit more. And I'll say, okay, now let's do some trim. So I'm going to use again the quick trim one here. I'll say, get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of this, and that, and that, and that. Now we have that feature. Now, if everything has worked the way you intended to, you back out of this thing and notice you have to do an update on it. And notice it says the specified profile contains several open contours. So now you know the problem is there. So I'm going to close this thing here. Close. And I'll go back into the sketch here. Okay? Now, let's look at the sketch. First thing I would do is I'd automatically go to this trim command here. I go trim to trim, to trim, to trim, trim, to trim, to trim, trim. Now what that does, if there's any gaps or anything in there, it'll close them. So back out of this thing, and still we've got issues, okay? We've still got some kind of issues on it. You're going to get the same feature here, hit cancel here. It doesn't like something. So again, let's go back in the sketch again. So let's look at the sketch a little bit closer here and see what the problem may be. So what do I do now, okay? Well, I'm going to do a different technique here. First, I'm going to bring this dimension here a little bit closer so you can see. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to grab this and I'm going to delete it. See if there's anything underneath it. I'm going to grab this, delete it. See if there's anything. I'm going to grab this, see if there's anything underneath of it. Now I'm a little bit perplexed, so let's go ahead and grab this line here and see if there's anything underneath it. And now I'm not seeing anything anywhere, okay? So let's go into sketch, let's go into geometry, and we have a circle there and a point here, okay? So that point there. So let's take that point and let's delete that point out of there. It's just the dimension, okay? So now, let's do this again. Bring it back, bring this back. Okay, bring this back, bring this back, bring this back. Now, what might be the problem here? So let's look a little bit closer and get into these things here. And I'm just looking at the geometry closer. There'll be times when you just cannot seem to figure out what's going on here. So I'm going to go down to the other side and check it out by just panning over here. It might be easier to actually zoom in and zoom out. There I am. Now, let's zoom out a little bit. Let's zoom fit all in. And then let's look at this right over here. Back over here. Here. It's like, wow, man, I can't find anything wrong here. But there's something wrong here. So let's come over here. Let's scroll this geometry down. Okay, there's a circle. Alright. There's the other circle. Okay. There's that circle. Okay. There's a point there. There's a line there. There's a line there. There's a point somewhere out here. There's a point here. There's a point here. Point there. This is perplexing. Because to me, it looks like it should work. Let's go out here again. And it still doesn't like it. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what happens if I try to make a pad out of it. Okay, let's go to this thing here and say, okay, if we can get any clues from here. Very interesting. Cancel this. Go back to the sketch again. And this time I'll say, okay, I punt. Grab this area over here, delete it. Didn't want to do that. Grab this, delete it, grab that, delete it, grab that, delete it, grab that, delete it. So then, I'm going to go back to where I was at. I'm going to take this point here. again, this is just ways of, so we're going to go to that point there, that point there. I don't like that one. Let's get rid of that one too. Leave that point out of here. So then we have a point there, which is still there, a point there, a point there. Okay, point number 1. I'll bring the stuff back. And I want to go to point number 1, and I want to delete it. Dude. Exit out of sketch. Still doesn't like it. Go back into the sketch. Z, 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 Z. Oh, let's get carried away there. Go back into the sketch. Starting all over here, folks. Okay, we know it works there. Again, this is what you got to do, though. So now I'm going to say I'm going to put a circle out here. I'm going to put a circle right over here. I'm going to exit out of the sketch. Something is really, really weird with this thing. Why is it doing this? Again, it's confusing to me. Let me delete this circle out of here. It likes that. It doesn't like that anymore. Go to the sketch. This is getting more interesting all the time. Running commands, you can see what some of the stuff is going here. It doesn't give you much. So I'm going to grab then this circle here and delete it. Let's put in a whole new circle. Bring it out. And that value then again was 4. Let's see, yes, so I'm going to put that back on here. Process of elimination. Diameter 4. Okay. Back out of it again. It's happy. So now let's go back in to the sketch. Go back in the isometric view. And this can take time. Sometimes it may be easier just to start over. Okay, we get that circle in there. And it doesn't like it. Wow, this has got me even confused. Well, this is one of these times when I say, the heck with this thing. I can try doing this thing forever, and it still may not work. I don't want to change this thing, so I'm going to go back in this vice gasket again. It should be blank, clean, I hope. And then I'm going to go on this, basically this horizontal plane, the sketch, and I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to come over here, and I want to put a circle in here. And I want to dimension this circle, and I'm going to make that value 4. I'm going to back out of this sketch, and I'm going to make a pad out of that, and I'm going to make it 0.125. Still happy. Open up here, go into the sketch, go back into my isometric view, and now I'm going to add a circle over here, because this thing then should put a circle out here with no issues. Oh my gosh, this is killing me. Okay, this is not good. Well, you know what? I'm going to just kill this one here. I'm going to say, no. I want to start a new part. And this time I want to go vice, collar, vice, collar, go 1. Again, go over here. Go to my sketch. Put a circle in here. Bring it out. Go out to here. Make it a pad. Make it 0.125. Okay, go into this part. Go to isometric view. Put another circle out here. Go back out. Oh, this is crazy. back into the sketch. Delete this out. Okay, I'm going to put another circle in here. This time I'm going to put that one there, and I'm going to make that as a construction circle. Go ahead and put that as 5. Things never go the way you expect them when you get in a CAD package, so plan accordingly. Okay, isometric view. I'm going to put a circle over here, and it's general orientation. Turn it into a regular geometry circle. Go back. And put a line in here. Line from there. There, another line. From here to there. Constrain it from there to there. And then from here to there. Okay, let's take this whole thing and go to diameter here, or radius. .375. Okay, let's grab this thing and move it up. Okay, now this time I'm going to put construction center line right here, and make sure you get that double fat arrow out there. Bring this over, and then I want to constrain then this point right here. That coincidence, and then I want to take that point again, right there, and that there, and I'll make those coincidental. And I'm going to go into this trim right here, trim right there. Here, 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 there, there. I'm going to go to the other trim, trim that, that. Did not get it. Let me get in here tighter and see why that didn't work. So I'm going to go to trim this by that. Now I'm going to exit back out of here. And it doesn't like it again. Interesting. Well, I am going to do something else here. I'm going to get very radical. I'm going to turn CTL off. No, I don't want to save any changes. Okay. Then I'm going to go and I'm going to basically load CTL again. Because at this point in time, I'm stumped. So there might be a bug in this thing. I don't know. Some of the things you just have to do as you see me stumble. But hey, that's the way it goes. Control new, P for part. I'm going to call this device collar 03 and put her times a charm maybe, huh? Again, this plane. By a sketch, by a circle, okay, by another circle, let's go ahead and dimension this one here, that one there, this one is 4. So that's 5. Let's go back into the sketch. Let's make a pad out of it. 1, 2, 5. Open up the part body for the sketch. Go over here. And I should be able to put a circle right out here. not constrained or anything. Too dang. Oh boy, people, this is just no fun at all. Okay, I'm not sure why I'm getting what's going on here. Why am I getting this problem? What am I doing wrong? Go back in the sketch. There's nothing wrong. Take this out, delete it, back out of here, regenerate it. Okay, I want to get back in the sketch again. I'm going to put another circle in here again. Back out, regenerate it. Shazam. Oh boy, that's crazy. Okay, it's not going into automatic update. So when I go out of here, so I'm going to go into tools, all that for this options. Again, I'm going to go into Sketcher, and I'm going to look at things here. Generate update error sketches under constrained. I don't want conventional constraints here. Put a smart pick, and I'm going to keep that one on also. Okay. Let's go to General. Automatic backup, disconnection, reference conference, drag and drop. Shareable products, license document, macros. I don't want statistics. Just looking here. I don't want that. Product structure. Somewhere on here, I can then find mechanical design, automatic update. That one should have been on. Okay, so all that, just looking for automatic update. I should have seen that, but I didn't. Okay, so we've all learned something from this. You sitting there watching me fumble around for a while. Now let's go forward. I'm going to then put some lines in here. I'm making construction lines. I'm going to put one here. I'll put another one. Make sure that they get locked down here. There. Another one over here. I want to back out of there. Then I'm going to constrain these lines. Now, this one here goes to there. Make that 20. Then this one goes back over to here. Make that one equal to 120. Now notice if these lines are green, which they are, you know, you can make them a little bit bigger, smaller, longer, shorter, but you can't move them. Very, very important, okay? Very important concept. Those don't move, okay? Now, kind of move this in here a little bit. Line those up, make it nice and pretty. Okay, now let's go back into here. Now, let's give this thing a diameter here. And let's make that a radius, actually, of 0.375. Okay, let's take this point, constrain it here. Coincidence. That to there. Coincidence. I want to draw in a couple lines. Shut this off here. I don't want this to be. I'm going to draw a line from here to there, there, to there. Now I'm going to zoom up. And I'm going to say, okay, I want that line and that to be tangent. That and that to be, and that to be. Oh, I'm not doing so well. I want then that and that to be tangent. Okay. Go to my quick trim. I want to get rid of this, that, 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 that. Back out of the sketch. Okay, it's still not updating. Okay, now you're saying this profile, open things here. So let's go into here and let's close this. Let's get back into this sketch here and see what the issue may be. Okay, first thing again, like I said, I come over here and use this trim, regular trim. I go trim that, 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 back to that. Let's back out. Let's update, and there we have it. Okay, it's still not getting my automatic update, so I'm going to have to look at that later. But again, now after all that, we know that this pad here, that actual lug there, is done. Okay. Now the reason why I do one at a time here, it then actually, if you have a problem, then you know it's located here. It's not maybe here or over here or there. You've located. So what you can do then is then go back through here and then create the rest of the geometry. One way would be to go and just actually then just brute force, take this geometry like I did here and create it. Another way would be, show you a couple different ways here. Another way would be to come in here and say, okay, then let's pick, and I'm holding my control key down, so like that, that, and that. Okay, and this time I'm going to go into my, come off there, transformation toolbar. Now notice you have then this rotate command. Well, I want to duplicate, and I want to have, let's see what we got here. So I want to start then at this middle point right there, and I want to put in a value of 120, and I want to keep my constraints, and notice what we have right there. Okay, 2 besides the original one. Notice you come in here and say this. Okay, now we do that, then we need to come back in here and say, okay, let's do some stuff with this now. Let's trim that out, trim that out, trim this out, trim that out. Okay, and then what we need to do is let's grab this thing and see where it moves. You can see it's moving off of, so again, this cylinder is not held into place, and nor is this one. Easy fix. Coming over here, I can grab this point here, make it coincidental with that, and then take that point there, and that point there, and make it coincidental to that. Now it's not. So then I can come over here, grab this, and that, and make those parallel, and then grab that again with that, and make that parallel, and doing the same thing over here, that with that, coincidence, that with this, coincidence, that with that, parallel, and then that with that, parallel. Backing back out, updating it, and there you have the 3 of them. So that's another way you could do it. Okay, that's another way you could do it. So then let's go back into this sketch here again. There's a third way you can do it. Hit Control Z, cut those 2 out there, go back in the sketch, and say, oh, there we have this thing right here. So now what we could do is we could do, which is probably the best way, is this patterning features. Patterning features. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a hole out here. Okay? And I'm going to the sketch. I'm going to locate that hole by the axis cylinder. So I'm going to come over here and say, okay, I want this axis and that point to be coincidental. So now I have it located. Okay? And then the size of that hole is, I don't even know what the size of the hole is, so I have to just look here. I don't know what it is, so I'm just going to make it diameter 0.375. Hit OK. May not be exactly right, but I don't really care, because we can always change it easily. Now, if you grab those 2 features here, the pad, which is, excuse me, okay, that's not going to work, okay? Let me back up here again. Let me back up here. So the third way is to get rid of this, get rid of that, 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 come back to here, go to sketch, and it's nothing but a circle. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sketch from the top plane, go back over to here, make sure I know where I'm at. Again, I'm going to put a circle out here. Go back to the sketch view, and I'm pretty much do the same thing. Okay, but I'm going to do some different things here. So again, I want to control the size and location of this hole. So the size of it is a radius of 0.375. Then I want to locate it by use of the cylinder. So I'm going to go from this point right here to getting on that surface right here. So you may have to zoom up a little bit to make it easier to grab the surface. That surface right there, and I'm going to make that a value, a horizontal measure. And then I'm going to do the same thing again. I'll go from this point right here to that surface right here, and I'll make this a vertical measure. And what does that give me? Let's go back into the sketch. Okay, we're looking at this view. So now this value is going to be value 5. And then this value is going to be then 0. Now let's see if I'm close. Okay, that's a radius, so I want that 5. So I take that 5 here, divided by 2. That looks much better. So again, that radius is 2.25. So now we're in that sketch. So now what I'm doing is I'm going to use the Project 3D right here. It's going to start to look like the other one. And again, I want to put a line in here. I'll go a line right here. Get it to be, I get it to be horizontal there. Right here. Horizontal here. Go back into my quick trim. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Okay, now we're missing some things here. Let's see here. So let's see what's going to move here. So this, what is going to move on me here? Okay. So those points, I thought they were tangent, but they weren't. So then let's make this and this tangent, and then that and that tangent. Now it's all green and we're happy. Exit back out of here, and let's make a pad. And I'm going to go up, dimension up to last, and then switch the direction around. Let's see here where I'm at before I get carried away here. Okay, if it doesn't like that, then let's go up the plane. Grab that plane. Hit OK here, and then we have that pad put on there. So again, you're making it as a separate feature. So I'm just going to go over here and I'm going to rename this to lug. Okay. And again, I'm going to put the hole here. Grab the hole. Stick it on here. Go to the sketch, just like we did before. Okay, where did the hole go? Where did that hole go? Where did the hole go? I don't know where it went. So I'm going to, I don't like it clear over there. Pull it out over here somewhere. Yeah, whatever. Okay. Go back into the sketch. And now I want to say, okay, there's the axis of the, or what's going to turn into the axis of the hole. The point of the 2D. So I'm going to come over and say, let's grab that point here and make that coincidence. Back out. Make the size 0.375. Enter that. And now if we look at this thing, now we have that geometry in here. Now if you come over here and grab this feature and that feature by holding the Shift or Control key down, then you can use a transformation feature. And your transformation features here are patterns. So I'm going to use a circular pattern. Yeah. Whatever. Okay, so now it's going to ask you what a reference element is. The reference element is going to be the axis I'm revolving around. And instances here, I want to have 120. And let's put in 3. Let's preview it. And there we have it. Finally then, we need to go over here and add the last hole. And I'm going to go to the sketch. And I'm going to say, okay. Go to the sketch here, go to that. And use from the origin to that point right there. And I'm going to make this coincidental. Back out of here. And I think that hole size is up to last, and I think it is a value of 4. Hit a preview. Ooh, I think that needs to be 3.5. Hit OK, and something's not right. Okay. Let's see here. Well, let's go check it out. That doesn't look right at all. So let's go into the sketch here. What are our values here? 4 and 5. Let me double check on the sheet here. And one of them's 5, one of them's 3.5. And let me look at this thing again when it's done. That's 5, 4. Mix it out. This hole. Something doesn't look right. Okay. But that can be switched. Adjusted. I can come back here again. I can change these sizes here. But again, there is an off size of this vice gasket. And so hopefully through my stumbles here together, you've seen some things that you maybe need to correct. Okay, let me update this thing. And again, I want to go under Tools and Options and just see why. Okay, why this thing is not giving me an automatic update, which it says it's doing. Can't explain that. Okay, but with that said, that should help you with the vice gasket. Even though it's not the exact same size, it should give you a pretty good idea of what it looks like. Everybody have a good day and be safe. Thank you very much. Goodbye.